BT. That. Hi.
Okay. Hello, Zoom. Can everyone out there hear me?
Yes, I hear.
Okay, it is 7:01 p.m. December 12th. The executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were myself, trustee Guthrie, trustee Ives, trustee Donzello, trustee King, attorney Jeff Parker, town manager Becky Frank, and town clerk Boa Yad. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters that not included in the motion to go into the executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. On the participants, seeing none, the executive session is hereby adjourned, and we will start with our regular meeting. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff we have to read that goes along with executive session. Sorry, folks. And with that, call the meeting to order. Zoom land, can you hear me? I get a thumbs up. The Zoom land can hear me. Roll
Yes.
call. We're all present. And if you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we do have some additions, corrections to the agenda. We have a revised fee schedule that went out to the board members earlier this afternoon. And we have correspondence item 8. Is that Charlie or Echo? 8, Charlie. for the GOCO grant. And with that, I'd entertain a motion on the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as modified.
There you go.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the agenda as modified. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next up is item 3, our consent agenda. And that'd be our meeting minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any updates or comments on that? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, the meeting minutes from 11/14/23.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve our consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, went through that one. Up next, our reports. Item 4A, we'll go down to trustees. Start this direction. King, Donzello,
Nothing to report.
Ives,
I don't have anything.
Guthrie. FEMA is going well. It's, it's federal, and so it's painful as to be expected. But yeah, I believe we've submitted everything now, and we are now waiting. We are not waiting. Well, yeah, we are waiting on FEMA to actually run through all their traps because there's multiple traps they have to run through. But it's going to be, hopefully, we'll receive in excess of 100,000 on this. Hopefully, like I say, there's still traps to run, and about every time we turn around, we find out a new requirement. We have applied for the Section 404 to try to do some culverts and ditch work. And that is a very long process. That takes about probably at least a year. We probably won't know anything for a year on that one. They were about ready to start cutting us checks with the damage, and someone up the food chain decided they didn't like how it was organized, so they had to go back and reorganize it all. So that's why I'm saying it's federal. It can be painful. So just, it is what it is, and we just respond with whatever information they need. With that, I think that's all I had. You can move on to staff reports.
So we do have a staff report that was prepared by our Public Works Department. In there, you do have an update on roads repairs that have occurred, parks, equipment, and other. They have been working, there's been no lull in between repairing a lot of the road work that occurred as a result of the storm this summer, and beginning snowplow operations. I'm not going to read through the entire report, but it is provided in your packet. One highlight is that we do have a new part-time on-call employee. You can welcome Jonathan to the team when you meet him, but if you see somebody, a new face out there, that's who's there. And excited about that. And also want to give some props to Dustin, as he has completed his Road Scholar 1 training that was provided through Colorado's local technical assistance program. Any questions on that report?
I have here, this is my treasurer's report for you tonight. This is our balance sheet. And this is showing us the first 3 quarters of this year versus the first 3 quarters of last year. And it's assets and liabilities. And in the future, I was going to present this at least quarterly. And in the future, I can include the past year comparison, or I can take that off. Do you guys have any preference?
I appreciate it personally.
You like that on there?
That's got one vote.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
done deal.
I did want to offer a little bit of explanation on this one as well. If you were to look at our current assets compared to the same time last year, you'll notice that there is a discrepancy there. That's attributed to several different factors. We have reimbursements for our PPRTA capital projects, which was our Stilling Basin, to be submitted, as well as our maintenance from the RTA. In addition to that, we incurred a lot more expenses this year as a result of our emergency repairs to the road system. So with that reimbursement, we should see those assets increase. This time of year, doing those year-to-date comparisons is always really challenging as we're doing our end of year reimbursements and whatnot there. But want to thank Bo for getting this put together.
What is our current bank statement and Colo Trust sum? Do you know?
I do have that up here. Let me see if I can get the lines to go. So that's Colo Trust. And you can see this is Park State Bank. So the balance has gone down. Part of that is awaiting reimbursements, but part of that was also moving money into Colo Trust. You can see Colo Trust is up 120 or something or the other there, 113. I can't. Yeah, 120.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay, any further questions, comments, any additional staff reports? Hearing none. We can move on into public comment period. I would ask that if you're commenting on the budget, we are having a budget hearing in item 6C. Please hold your comments on the budget and comment during the hearing. And with that, we'll open it up for non-budget related comments.
Do I have any comments from Zoom?
Nope.
I don't have anything from Zoom or here in the room.
Okay. Well, that will move on to item 6 alpha, the Foster easement at 10565. And is Julie going to walk us through that?
I do have the town planner here on Zoom.
Okay.
Julia Simmons is gonna talk about this.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. This item included in your packet is actually a contractual item that is what was intended to go to the consent agenda, because as you can see, it is an agreement for an easement with the applicant at 10565, which I've messed up, Foster Avenue. This has been a long journey for these applicants who started working with Nate Scott a couple of years ago on this project, and it has gone through several iterations. I'm going to just introduce that, say that it's an easement, and then if you have questions for me, I can abbreviate any explanation.
Could you briefly describe what's in the easement request?
Sure. Bo, if you can scroll down, there's a graphic. So this easement is basically an agreement for the applicant, the owner, the Hayes family, to occupy the town right of way. There's no sale of land. And if you can go one more, Bo, please. There. Rough, but conveys that the easement, perfect, thank you, is a 12 by approximately 46 foot area. You can see where the cabin sits, and there's an existing flagstone path there to access the cabin. So the easement would shore up some issues that we have all over town with encroachment into the right of way. The owner originally had another design there. You can see the proposed deck, but that is not what is for the agreement. It is just simply that small area. Then any additional building development permit would come to the Planning Commission. And if I need to explain that a little better, I'm happy to receive questions.
Okay, so it's basically just for the sidewalk leading up to the house. If you go up, scroll up, there's a picture of the house. It's small. But it's just basically for that sidewalk going up to the house. Is that correct?
No. It's a deck.
So that would, well, the easement is not, the easement would it does capture, because the flagstone path and the front of the home is encroaching on the right of way. So this allows the owner to be able to access their property.
Pretty strong.
So there's an access issue. There's
That's-
also,
Yeah.
Okay.
did I have a question?
No, sorry, we were just talking up at the, and amongst trustees.
You were mentioning it was an access issue.
So there's an access issue. There's also, the family would like to, so this is not a development application. This is merely for the easement to, like I said, settle this walkway and this access has been used for decades, and the owner was interested in purchasing the land, but as a policy of the town maintains the right of way. So this would allow them to have the access. Also, eventually in the future, if approved, to build a safe access for some mobility issues that they have, and then an entrance to the home with a decking area. But that is not for consideration tonight, simply the
Okay.
ability to use the area.
So it's just to allow for use of existing that have been there for some time.
Thank you
Okay.
for simplifying there. I'd also like to add that the original proposal was taken back because they, I guess CSU had a utility, there were some utility easement along there. So the design, the space, and the agreement allows for the town, of course, to maintain the right of way as it has, more or less. And then it also allows for CSU and any additional utilities, let's say if anything else were to be developed in the future, to go forward.
I'm just looking over the actual agreement itself here real quick. Do we have a statement in the actual agreement itself that says it's for just existing and not new?
So it is for deck and stairs. However, we need to have the easement before the owner can apply for the permission to apply for the deck and stairs. There's a little procedural hang up. So it does say deck and stairs only. So it would not allow for anything else unless amended.
Okay. I think I've got all my questions answered.
So motion for approval for the,
Yeah, if there's no other, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the non-exclusive easement agreement.
Did you have, Catherine, did you?
Or do you have any
additional
questions?
discussion?
I just had a question about the $10. What is that?
So that is just a nominal fee
Okay.
for the easement. We did have an easement years ago that was $50. This one, $10 was what was added. And I also want to add that town attorney has, of course, been through this.
Okay, there's a motion on the table. Is further discussion?
Were there other fees paid for this?
That's not going to be
agreement?
paid. The $10 isn't
It-
paid. It's just a consideration.
Okay.
Trustee Guthrie, so the legal review on this has been paid by a deposit, and the development permits will all have fees.
Thank you.
And I think we can just repeat the motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd motion to approve the non-exclusive easement agreement.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the easement agreement. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Now we'll add that's an easement agreement for 10565 Foster Avenue. Okay, with that, moving on to our comprehensive roads plan. We have someone's going to talk to that.
Yes, Mr. Braken apologizes for not being able to be here, but he did prepare me with some correspondence to include. We will be receiving our comprehensive roads plan. This was a document that is too large to be emailed, and so therefore will be delivered by mail in the form of a flash drive. These will be digital documents that we can house here on the computer. Here, I intend to make one available for anybody that would like to see it, as well as one that will be down at the Public Works office. This will be a living document. Additional data will be included into it as road maintenance and projects occur. It will require some additional software down at the Public Works computer. It's going to require some GIS equipment. But this submittal gets us ready for being able to close out this project. And then we can begin on locating some engineering to help us to bring these projects closer to be able to be applied for grant funding for. Really excited to be at this point. I know it's been a long process for the town. In addition, I should have mentioned, in addition to the plans, it is Andre's intent to work with town staff as we become familiar with these plans and learn how to apply it and make sure that we're updating the software appropriately. So no real approval or anything needed on that. It's just
Just an FYI, and we will be getting, trustees will be getting a message with the actual doc.
it's going to be a very large document. It's over 400 pages.
So if we really want it, we should come here and look at it.
That would be recommended. And,
Okay.
you know, that being said, also, it's going to be constantly being amended and updated. So the best way is to have one copy that is on a shared drive between Public Works and town, and we're able to view it on all of our computers.
Okay, anything further? If not, we'll move on to Resolution 2023-10, adopting the calendar year budget. It is 7:22, and we will enter into our budget hearing. And at this point, if there's anyone in the public that wishes to comment on the budget, now would be the time.
And I did want to preface this just a little bit in stating that you will notice a couple of structural changes in the budget. Those were because every time in the past, the way that the budget was created was for every separate project that occurred. There was a separate budget line item that really makes the budget much more lengthy than it needs to be, as those items need to be displayed on previous year's budgets for a certain amount of time. So by doing this in your capital improvement budget is where you'll notice most of those changes. We included those into just 3 categories that were local, state, and federal grants. Any of the sums or any of the projects that were spread up among multiple categories within those have been combined. So those figures will remain the same if you add them up. If you have any questions about that, please let me know.
I will state, we are anticipating that we'll have to amend the budget. This is just really to get us through our obligation, even though they have given us additional time. Beginning in January is going to be incredibly tight for our staff. So I think it's probably prudent to just go ahead and do what we've planned on doing here. And then once we actually get the updated assessed value sheets from both Teller and El Paso County, then we need to look at it and we will likely be coming back with an amended budget. Because we don't know what we're going to be getting, and it's just trying to do this when we're trying to do all the short-term rentals and election stuff at the first of the year is going to be kind of, I think it'd just be a little too tight. So did we have anyone wanting to comment, either here in person or on Zoom?
I wanted to comment on Zoom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I've just noticed in the budget, the proposed budget, that only 20,000 has been budgeted for the matching of the grant funds. And we needed 40,000 to take full advantage of all the grants that we have. And we'll be leaving half of the CUSP grants funds on the table, as well as the Kirkpatrick Family Funds grant, a foundation fund as well. And I'm real disappointed to see that. I was hoping that fire mitigation would be more of a priority.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Did you want to address any?
Sure, I'm happy to address that. First off, the Kirkpatrick Family Foundation grant was not contingent upon a certain amount of town match for those funds. So there's that. And the other piece of it is that I did have Adrian with Coalition for the Upper South Platte produce us a map that is a work in progress. There are a couple of areas that need to be looked at still because it does not include the Mile High Youth Corps work. We do have several fire mitigation irons in the fire, so to speak, between some potential from Team Rubicon, the Swift Cruise, the CUSP projects, as well as the Mile High Youth Corps. The staff's plan is in early January to get together with all of those partners and refine this map and identify the specific locations that are available for this project development, and work it from there. So a member of the Fire Mitigation Committee or all of the members are certainly welcome to participate in that partner meeting. And we'll make sure to get an invite sent out.
Okay, any other? I'll go to public first
Yeah.
and then I'll come back to you if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Public comment for the hearing. Hearing none. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I was waiting for the opportunity to discuss the money that could go to fire mitigation. We've got a lot of right of ways we got to work on. Is this the time to talk about fire mitigation and the monies that will support fire mitigation for fiscal year 2024? Is that good?
Well, keep in mind, we did just do an across the board 4% to get us through our required stuff and then come back when we actually know when we're actually getting.
Right.
So I don't know if it's, I mean, we can
And
talk
on-
about it, but
On this, map, are the right of ways, because I'm kind of looking at it right now, it's kind of tiny here, but are they identified on this map in particular?
Some of them are, but the project treatment areas, that they worked on last year largely are not. I did speak to Adrian yesterday, and it was his opinion that a majority of those, uh, right-of-ways have been addressed and that there's very little work that can be accomplished there. The way that their grant is structured is very tricky because I've looked at seeing, we've discussed, can we utilize that to address some of the town's nuisance tree issues? The way that their grant is written and the right-of-ways might have even been a stretch on that, is that it's very hard for them to achieve and document acreage as their grant intended it to be. Because it's when you're working 5 to 8 feet of a 20-foot right-of-way to ensure that you've got stuff that doesn't eat up a whole lot of acreage very quickly. So instead, I think part of this meeting that will occur in January will be looking, that'll give everybody a little bit more time. There are some areas where we know that the Forest Service has some prescribed areas that they would like to treat in their future planning. But it's uncertain as to how our projects abutting those, if they were to abut those, could impact fire behavior, or if there would be an opportunity to even access those via basically egress through Forest Service or CSU properties. So all of those items are being explored. And we'll certainly know more in January. Additionally, the way that Adrian put this map together is that it is very scalable. There's opportunities to build on it once we have more information.
So again, with the right of ways, how many were we able to tackle and knock out? Not necessarily clear, but thin out. We just can't.
I don't have an exact number for you here, but I could certainly get a report from CUSP.
And it was an issue of accessibility. I mean, they did all that work up on Thomas. That's, like a 45-degree angle.
Some of them were issues of accessibility. Some of them were issues of not having clear property boundaries. And others were issues of the property owners just not wanting them anywhere near. And so we decided to leave an additional buffer.
I also see, is this particular area historic falls that's
All of the areas shaded on the map in pink are town of Green Mountain Falls parcels.
I see the custom treatments are green. And is that?
So they did do work outside of town projects, outside of town funded projects that were supported by Historic Green Mountain Falls Foundation, and they did do work on some of their parcels. So those are other opportunities to identify is how do you build upon previous work that was completed?
We're going to see fire mitigation is receiving approximately $20,000 this year for fiscal 2024. Is there an ability for fire mitigation to receive even more money throughout the year of 2024?
There's an opportunity in January to amend this budget should we need to. In addition, it would be good to recognize at this point in time that fire mitigation is not only receiving $20,000, they've also received a very generous donation from the Kirkpatrick Family Foundation.
And there's some.
$65,000, and that'll be announced in your, it's not up to, it is $65,000, and that award letter is later on in your packet as part of your correspondence. There's no town match required. Mhm.
Yeah, I think we might be working off of, or limiting what we're thinking about for fire mitigation to what was presented to us by the Fire Mitigation Advisory Committee. But it's a bigger picture than that. And the picture I'm getting, it's a lot more like emergency management, that it's not something you just do locally, that it's a coordinated effort. And it sounds like that coordination is going to happen in January. So there's a lot more players, which also means more resources and, you know, a broader plan than, than maybe we've been utilizing in the past.
So again, that's a meeting that's convening in the month of January. And what we're looking at essentially is on this map, everything that's been completed up until now.
By cusp only,
By
does
cusp
not
only.
include
That's
Mile High
not
Youth.
Mile High Youth Corps. This is just strictly from Adrian and Cusp.
Definitely. I had asked Adrian to try to include that Mile High Youth Corps work. Their staff was out of the office, and so it just didn't happen in time. But this map will continue to be improved upon.
So again, there's opportunity in January when everybody meets and kind of starts targeting specific areas in town.
Absolutely. And you know, this is a good time to also mention that we do have an application submitted to update the community wildfire protection plan for the Ute Pass area. If funded, I think that particular document will really help to identify those, you know, additional opportunities for partnerships with our neighboring communities, and it'll really just embolden the good work that's already been done and is continuing to be done.
Okay, are there any other comments for the public hearing? Going on. It is 7:34. We will end the public hearing, and then we move on to actually adopting the budget. Is there any further discussion for trustees? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution number 2023-10, a resolution to adopt the town of Green Mountain Falls 2024 budget.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve resolution number 2023-10. I am going to read sections of it. A resolution to adopt the town of Green Mountain Falls 2024 budget, a resolution appropriating expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting a budget for the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado. Section 1, that the estimated expenditures for each fund are as follows: the general fund, $782,957.05. Capital Improvement Fund, $253,000. Conservation Trust Fund, $8,030. That the budget as submitted herein above summarized by fund hereby is approved and adopted as the budget of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado for year stated above. And I will sign it after our vote. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, our next item is our fee schedule. And the board members did receive an updated fee schedule. We had a handful of code reference issues in the original posted one. And so I'll let staff take it away on this.
Yeah, first off, thank you, everybody. Thank you all trustees and mayor for looking at this during a work session earlier this year. It went on to planning commission, passed there, and then to all of our departments. So I have input here from public safety, public works, and admin. I think we got a winner. The mayor had some good edits after it went out in the packet. So thank you for letting me project the revised and corrected version. We had some mix-ups with the code authority with the new land use code and a couple of items that were omitted. So yeah, here it is. I think this is a consensus from everybody to create this document.
Discussion on the fee schedule.
I would like to address again, and I've done this several times over the last few years. It may be a very small thing, but it's the notary public services. That was increased to $15 September 1 of 2023. And you have it at $10. If we agree that it should be $10, then the words state law should be struck. If the notary is keeping the fee, that is according to state law. If the notary is not keeping the fee and it goes to the town, that is the employer's rule. So right now, if you are following state law, it's $15 per notarization, and that money goes to the notary public.
Thank you for that clarification. I have no intention of charging any fees for that service from the office. And I would be open to amending that portion of it and then correcting it before posting it.
Thank you.
So it would be 15.
I think that's good.
That is state law,
Of what you can charge up to.
up to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
So again, just to clarify, it would be changed to 15, or do you want to leave it at 10? If you wanted to leave it at 10, then you just have to say you'd have to remove the state law.
I like the idea of moving it to 15, if you all agree with that.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion.
A motion to approve the 2023-11 adopting the fee schedule.
I have a second.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2023-11.
With amended changes.
With,
Right.
was as amended, correct on the second?
Correct,
Okay.
as amended.
As amended. I will read it after the vote this time. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Resolution 2023-11, resolution adopting the Town of Green Mountain Falls 2024 municipal fee schedule. And therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees, Town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, that the appendix to this resolution titled Town of Green Mountain Falls 2024 fee schedule containing a detailed fee schedule is in its entirely incorporated as fully as if set out at length herein and shall become effective immediately upon adoption of the resolution. So, thank you. Moving on. We have our audit engagement letter.
So you have before you an engagement letter from Logan and Associates. And if approved tonight, this would allow us to begin our auditing process for the year 2023 as soon as the auditor is available in 2024.
And do I recall correctly that the expense increased a little bit? This year?
It's remained really stable for the auditor.
Oh, great.
Mhm. It may have increased a little bit, but it would only be by the sum of about a couple $100.
Mhm, mhm.
And we're looking for an approval, right?
Yes, please.
Any other questions, comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I move that we approve engaging Logan and Associates for our 2023 audit.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the engagement letter from Logan and Associates. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next one, a resolution 2023-12 appointing town officers.
This is just a yearly formality, just making all of us officials. This is going to keep me as the clerk, keep our attorney as our attorney. The marshal's on here. Here's the whole list down here. We did add the municipal court judge, which was not on this resolution last year, but we felt it should be.
If there's no questions, comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution number 2023-12, a resolution of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, making appointment of town officials for 2024.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve resolution number 2023-12. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Resolution 2023-12 is a resolution of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, making appointment of town officials for 2024. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, that town officials are appointed as follows: the town attorney, a firm of Hoffman, Parker, Wilson, and Carberry, PC, town manager Becky Frank, town marshal Sean Goings, town clerk / treasurer Bo Ayad, municipal court judge Douglas Price. Introduced and read and passed. Okay, our next item is the committee member appointments. I'm kind of wondering if we should go through these individually, vote on each one. And first off, I'd like to thank all the committees for going through this exercise for us. We obviously had some bookkeeping, for lack of a better term, issues that we were trying to help resolve. I really appreciate the committee members going through and helping us do the reset. And Bo, if you'd like to add anything additional.
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite a process, and I think this is gonna put us in good shape moving forward. I do have these organized. I put Park, Rec, and Trails together. And I just have the memo in here. FMAC is the same way. And then the Planning Commission, I do have the applications as well, because there's a higher level of scrutiny. So we'll get to that at the end.
Okay, thank you, Bo. And thanks for catching that. I know we're trying to basically get the town back to where we're following our own code. So that's appreciated. And if we're all okay with it, I'll just read names. Ask for a motion and a second vote. We'll just start going down through the list. That's okay. Okay, this is Park, Rec, and Trails, Jesse Stroop. Just move approval in a second.
Yeah.
Or do we just want to vote? Does it really matter?
I think for FMAC and PRT, I think we're okay approving this, but I think we do need to look at individual applications for Planning Commission.
I would say, let's just go down through names.
But
And
what if-
we'll just vote on each one. How's that sound?
Isn't there an application for the PRT in addition?
I do have all those, but I didn't include them in the packet. But I have all of those on file and available for your viewing.
I think there's one in the pack.
We do have one for Brandy Morales.
Oh, yeah, she is a new applicant who was approved. Thank you for that.
So she should be on this list.
She should be on that list as an alternate. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's just go down through and we can just vote on each one. Jesse Stroop. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That one carries. Jay Kita, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nancy Dixon, I will abstain since she's my spouse. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One abstention. Any opposed? Don Walker.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill McIntyre.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will go down through.
We have Brandy Morales.
And then we have Brandy Morales.
Brandy Morales as a alternate, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again. Just ayes.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, that one carries. Fire mitigation. David Douglas.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Lisa Hazinga.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think you're reading from the 2023.
Oh, golly, thank you.
Which we're still on.
Thank you. Paul Yingling.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Kelly Hunter.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And I just jumped, my sheet just jumped. What's the next one? Lisa Hazinga?
Which
Aye.
we, think we- yeah.
Yeah,
Aye.
we all eyed on
Yep.
her. Okay. Okey dokey. Next up, our planning commission. We have Lamar Matthews.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes.
I oppose as well.
And I oppose.
You oppose. Okay, hang on a minute. We need to do a roll call.
I showed 3 ayes and 2 opposed.
Hang on.
3 opposed.
I had 3 opposed. So trustee Guthrie,
I oppose.
trustee Ives,
Approve.
trustee Donzello,
I approve.
trustee King,
I oppose.
and me as mayor. I oppose as well. So that one was denied. Commissioner Lisa Bonwell.
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
I oppose.
We need to go through roll call.
I approve.
Approve. Approve. Approve.
Approve.
Oppose?
Oppose.
Okay. Hang on a minute. Okay. Rocco Blasi. Since we're kind of getting mixed, I'm going to just go down the line. Trustee Guthrie,
Oppose.
trustee Ives,
Approve.
trustee Donzello,
I approve.
trustee King,
Approve.
and I approve as well. So I had a 4-1 on that one. Mike Fry,
Approve.
Approve.
approve. Nick?
I approve.
Trustee King?
And if I may add, I will be approving him from past knowledge, even though he did submit an incomplete application.
And I approve as well. Okay. Ann Ish. Catherine?
I approve.
John?
Approve.
Nick?
I approve.
Proof.
Approve. And I approve as well. Okay, that brings us through the committee member appointments, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll move on to waiving document fees for calendar year 24 election candidates.
I don't think this is gonna come up too much, but going into the election here, it's possible that candidates are gonna need materials printed or need background information for their campaigns. And I'd like to ask for your permission to just make copies and print materials for candidates without charging our document fees.
Have we had that happen? I mean, we didn't have an election last go around, so.
I don't know. Being my first rodeo, I'm not sure what's coming. You know, somebody could come in and want a ton of stuff printed. I'm expecting it to be nominal.
It might be good to add in an up to amount.
That's where I was headed. Do you have any target, recommended target?
The document printing itself isn't generally what ends up being time cumbersome. The piece that ends up being time cumbersome is the research required to prepare those for providing copies. So I would say, you know, up to 25 documents for free.
You want to put it as a, if it's a, you want to make it rather a time-based? Up to 1 hour free or?
The what's being requested here is a waiver of the fee, the portion of your fee schedule in response to the creation of the production of documents.
Their printer fees of like 50 cents a page, I think.
Mhm,
Yeah.
definitely. So if it's anything else that requires more of a Cora request, then that'll fall within the time requirement.
And this would be paid by the candidate?
Mhm.
Okay. So this did not, in the last two elections, the second one of which was done by affirmation,
Right.
there were no fees.
There were no fees. There was no expenditures. Yeah. So, okay, run that recommended, you said 25 documents?
I would say up to 25 documents. Anything else, if they need additional, I believe the process would be to submit a open records request. The other piece of this that ends up being, we do try to fulfill most of those digitally, where we can. It helps to save us, that expense. But we did just have a great, candidate orientation, with our election guru, pardon the lack of a better term, who suggested that any documents that one candidate request should be made available to everybody else. So for ease of access and to not incur a ton of cost anytime that we're able to provide those digitally, we will.
Okay, any other questions, comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
A motion to approve a waived fee of up to 25 documents.
Second, It's been moved and seconded that we approve, that we waive the document fees for up to 25 documents for the calendar year 24 election candidates. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And item I, year-end bonuses.
Yes, so staff would like to request allocation of some year-end bonuses. We did have some savings in our labor department in 2 out of 3 of our departments. That was due to some rearranging of staff. And the other department that I don't anticipate us achieving savings in will probably come in really, really close. So staff is asking that a portion of that savings be reallocated to thank the hardworking staff of Green Mountain Falls. This would include 5 full-time employees and 3 part-time, and not include me.
And this is actually more along the lines of a retention bonus.
A retention bonus. It's a great way to thank them. And, you know, when we do salary surveys and look at what's going on in the rest of the world, we are definitely not the highest paying organization around, but I do believe that our staff are here for other reasons. I do feel that they're committed to the town and to making things better here. They've been reliable, and I can't speak highly enough about how much work was accomplished by such a small staff over 2023.
And how will that be allocated?
We were thinking of doing it split up, $500 bonuses for each of the full-time staff and 3 $250 bonuses.
Who are they?
It's something.
Can we ask who?
Additional questions, comments?
I'm just wondering exactly who are these employees?
Without naming them by name, we have 1 full-time and 1 part-time in the marshal's office. We have 2 full-time and 1 part-time in the public works department. Included in this would be 1 full-time and 1 part-time in the administration office.
Thank you.
If there's no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the staff bonuses for 2023.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the staff bonuses as presented. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion items. Do we have any discussion items that we need? No, okay. Correspondence, is there anything to go over on the correspondence? Other than the fact we gotta add it in the GoCo grant?
Just want to thank the grantors, both the Kirkpatrick Family Foundation and the Mile High Youth Corps. We did receive notification that we are awarded $65,000 for fire mitigation from the Kirkpatrick Family Foundation to match the CUSP grant or to do other fire mitigation efforts within the town. And then the Mile High Youth Corps is 11 weeks in 2024 and 11 weeks in 2025. We will host them as well. The plan there is to continue their work along Thomas Trail, as well as going in and doing some additional fuels removal of areas already worked. The last piece of correspondence you have that did not make it in time for your packet we received yesterday, and it's the bad news. Mile High Youth Corps submitted an application on our behalf, you may remember this summer, to GoCo to fund an additional 8 weeks of crew time here locally. Unfortunately, that was not awarded. I did talk to CJ yesterday, and she indicated that a majority of those projects funded by GoCo this year had shifted from fire mitigation projects more to trail development and trail maintenance projects. So I think that GoCo probably just recognized that there was a lot more resources available for fire mitigation, and they wanted to shift their focus.
Okay, any other correspondence items?
No others, thank you.
We have,
Oh, I went through all three of them kind of in the wrong order. I apologize for that.
okay. We have another public comment period.
We do.
Do we have anyone who wishes to comment?
Do I have any public comments from Zoom?
I'd like to say you did a good job. This is Ann. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next meeting is January 9th. The town hall is going to be only open by appointment only from December 22nd through January 2nd.
Through the holiday, we'll go ahead and post a holiday closure. We do anticipate to be around for the most part of it, with the exception of some anticipated holiday weather closures and dealing with kids out of school. So we are available as needed. In the meantime, we hope that all of our staff, with the exception of our snow removal crews and our public safety department, and even them, get to spend some earned time with their families and friends, and hope that you all do too.
Okay, with that, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season. And we will see you back here on January 9th. Meeting's adjourned.
Nice meeting. Thank you.